All right, welcome back to another episode of We Talking About. Lee, today is your turn to pick what we be talking about.
Okay, I have a topic.
What's your topic?
It's similar, or it sort of segues from your last topic with some conspiracy stuff.
All right.
And this is not a conspiracy, but it's a similarly weird internet, weird-like thing or something
Bitcoin?
like that. It's time to talk about Bitcoins. Class, pull up your... No, we're not going to talk about Bitcoin, even though I need someone else to talk to me about Bitcoin, because I'm still...
Bitcoin doesn't make any sense, but I've derailed this... what were you going to say, Lee?
Still a little sketchy about Bitcoins. The topic is the Immortality Singularity.
Okay. I know a little bit about this.
Oh, you do?
Well, I hear Singularity mentioned a whole lot from Andrew Main in a podcast, Weird Things, and they're always talking about when we get to the Singularity, and they mention a lot of books on the subject. And
there's different singularities, though.
Well, what is the one that you were...
This is the Immortality Singularity. He might be... And you'll pretty quickly be able to guess what I'm getting at. There's a few other singularities about, like, when artificial intelligence and stuff like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What he said? I don't know which one he was talking about. The Immortality Singularity, so the idea behind this is that so like medical science just keeps getting better.
Of course.
Agreed, yes. So every year
leeches.
Apothecaries' humors, both good and bad, need to be in balance. Now, every year we get better at medicine, and we get better at keeping people alive for longer. Yes? Agreed?
Yes,
right.
Of course.
So you could plug all that data into like a computer. You could say we doubled the survivability rate of a certain type of cancer.
So at what point will we not die ever?
Well, the idea is that 0.000 people have that cancer. We make them live 14 years longer. That's like 2.5 minutes per person average or whatever, right?
Okay.
You get to that number. At a certain point, every year we will be able to keep people alive for an average of 1 year or more longer per year. So like that same formula for like a given year, each person lives an average of 400 days longer. And then that snowballs and snowballs now medical researchers, people who are sick and being experimented or researched on, young kids who would have died in accidents and then grow up to be famous cancer researchers, they all live longer, and the curve does this crazy thing, rapidly approaching immortality.
And as we progress our technology with robots, we also have the ability to download consciousness potentially into other things.
Yeah, so I'm not sure exactly.
There are two different competing... So if both...
There's different ways to look at stuff. This is specifically about medical science and extending the human lifespan. Cybernetic implants and weird shit like that, even that whole scale downloading or whatever could play into that, obviously.
I just read an article about a man who lived for 444 days with no heart.
Weird.
He had a backpack that was
his heart.
That was his heart. It was filtering and pumping blood or whatever your heart may do. That his was doing that. There's iron lungs.
Dialysis.
Yes, of course.
Instead of having kids.
So in addition to all the things we're just getting better at, and that's why I'm saying they kind of go hand in hand. We're getting better technologically, which is aside from just knowing how things work and fighting things and this and that. The only issue I see with it, and what will delay it, and eventually we will get to this point, I'm sure, but the thing that's going to delay it is that people will want to, and by people I mean businesses, have a thing you can buy each year and not just make it a thing. So it'll last. Yeah. It'll be when you're if you're rich, you will live forever.
Well, yeah, it'll filter down the same way that it does today with access to healthcare, and there'll be plenty of opportunities to make money, because it isn't just this isn't, what I'm talking about is not the weird, everyone just does this one thing and now you live forever instead of living. This is the other part where there's lots of opportunities to make money, because we will need cures and pills and weird packs and implants to stay alive, like the Borg, this crazy thing.
Yeah, and we're growing kidneys in jars and that's cool in itself. But I think there'll be a step between the like my kidney's bad, and they grow you a new one, and like, no, just take this pill. It'll prolong that shitty kidney for another 20 years. Like,
yeah, well, and even getting the new kidney, will initially be expensive, and there'll be all this stuff going on. What's interesting though is that there are people who are like cult member people or like whatever. So you've heard about like the rapture, where people think it's happening during our lifetime, so I have to prepare. There are people who believe that the immortality singularity could happen during their own lifetimes. So,
I've seen this cult, and they're super well funded. What is the name of those people?
Well, there's more than one. I don't know.
There's one that's huge, and it's like a religion.
It's like an international association of people.
Yeah, it's only like these brilliant, like, machinist type whatever people.
Their goal is to live as long as humanly possible. So some of them practice caloric restriction, where they only eat like 500-700 calories a day, because like your body's like a factory that turns stuff into poop, and if you slow down the factory, there's less wear and tear on it, and you can like live longer potentially. Everything they do for every waking moment, think of like Tom Cruise, is all about optimizing them, themselves, so that they can potentially live long enough to get swept up in this tidal wave of immortality and like live forever. That's crazy to me.
What's crazy to me is just living your whole life unenjoyably and then still not getting it.
Yes, well, because likely, I don't know what the predictions are or whatever, but I don't think if you're 50 now,
I think our kids might get a taste, and that's might.
We may blow each other and ourselves up well before we get to the point where that's like a real thing or like a real issue.
Look at the election.
No, and I'm not doing anything to prolong my life at all. I process approximately 18,000 calories a day. It's like the worst possible
I'm in that ballpark.
situation. I show it though, which is a bad thing.
Mine's on the inside.
I hope it's just
made of dust.
I hope it's all rotten in there. I hope it's just machine.
It's just an apple core. If I get a scan, they're like, "What is that? That's an apple core."
You look like
you should have kidneys. That's an apple core.
You look like the thing from Ferngully in there. It's just this oily mess. Oh dear.
Look like a goblin. Yeah, Singularity's cool stuff.
Well, so would you download yourself into something?
100%.
Would you take the pill? Would you do all that stuff?
I would get bit by a vampire. I'll do whatever I gotta do because I want to live forever.
I've always said that from like a very young age. And people, my parents and adults, would be like, "But everyone you know."
The worst argument ever is everyone you know will die. That's going to happen anyway, and so will I.
I know.
Are you people retarded? Like, god damn.
That was my reaction and my opinion too. But it was seen as being like a sign of being a serial killer or something like that. Where I was like, "Fuck you, people! I want to live. I want to see empires rise and fall and learn how to play every instrument and speak every language, much like cool vampires do."
Netflix all day, forever.
That's how I'm going to do those things I just said is YouTube and Netflix. No, I have 100%
me so sad when
zero
people don't
questions.
understand that.
Yes,
I'm like, you're everyone you love is gonna die anyway. You just might be lucky enough to die first. Why not?
Well,
why not just fucking go?
And they say stuff like, like in like fiction, you'll see this too. Like in Lord of the Rings, the elves, or in like Star Trek, you had certain races that were immortal or just lived for so long that they were like meh, and like they weren't motivated to like do stuff. But humans are so short lifespan, and we're motivated, and we do all these things or whatever. And I'm like
the opposite.
Well, I was like, listen, I get around to shit eventually, and having infinite time would be much preferable to be like, oh, I fucked this up and I'm too old for that now. Fuck it, like, no.
The amount of time, like if I could be immortal and not need to sleep or eat.
Well, that's just
oh my
the whole
god,
thing,
I'll cure everything.
Right.
Mostly just boredom I'll cure, but I'll cure it.
I'll be the head of the spear.
Churn out like 10 videos a day.
No, and if like that was the deal, if it was like you have to do something and some genie, some dark force, I'd be like 100%. I'm on board. I'll keep doing whatever the fuck you need me to do. Just keep me alive forever.
And just the idea of starting a life over every like 100 years is like, nah, I just moved to a different country.
Just for fun.
I forgot that language after a couple decades, and then
yeah, right. You have all the time in the world. All these things that we do because it's like a matter of like, oh no, I have to survive. I have to live.
I would need a better memory if I was immortal.
You would. I would not.
I forget everything. I totally would like, he moved to, I don't know, Bangladesh, and now he forgot English. Like,
yeah, you'd be like, oh, I was going to do that. Fuck, how long has it been? It's been 200 years, she's long dead, you didn't return her text. Fuck. This keeps happening.
What are you going to do? Call people?
Sorry, I lost track of time. It was 80 years ago. I know.
Yeah.
Weird.
But that's the coolest thing about being immortal is that time would mean literally nothing.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Things that are like
someone pointed this out about when we become this point if we get immortal. It's like all right, so just wait online for 10 years, and you'll be like, 10 years, this is not. But like now you're like 5 minutes. Oh my god! But like it would mean nothing.
We have no attention span. We're so concerned with time and how long things take. There's stuff where it's like, well, it's better to do it this way, but you can't because it takes too long or it's too whatever. It would just be like, no, I'll just wait, and it will eventually go through, and then I'll do this thing. It's fine. You know?
I would. Man, it's so good.
So check mark, two immortalities.
Yeah,
coming
immortalities I give 5 out of 5 fish heads. Immortality's pretty damn good.
I'm down for immortality. I will pay any price. Dark Prince, if you can hear me, I want to be immortal.
Bing! It pops up.
It's like, oh! I wouldn't even be like I was
any
kidding.
price. So, okay, I'm now Satan, and I come to you and I say, hello, Lee.
This is going to be awkward.
I see you want to be immortal.
I do.
You do.
I would
and
like
and I hear you'll pay any price.
I mean, put an offer on the table. We'll talk
Oh no,
about
you have to say yes. I want to be immortal, and I will grant it to you, and I will take what I need. Or you can say no, I'm good.
I feel like this is going to be one of those evil genie tricks, though. I don't like this.
I'm Satan.
I must know the terms. It's like, I'm Satan. I'm the original evil genie.
I will tell you the terms after you say yes or no.
I mean, I'm just going to say yes, and we'll get to the part.
All right, we cut off all your fingers and your dick.
That's horrible. I need all those things.
Nope,
I
they're
need
gone.
all 11 of those appendages.
Gone.
Would
you give up your fingers for immortality?
It's really rough. I mean, yes, but that's really rough.
Thumbs count too.
Yes.
Okay, making sure you know. I didn't think you could thumb your way through life.
Just fucking poke people's eyes out. No, so now we're in like the would you rather, like Nazis have your parents, would you have sex with their dad, like weird territory or whatever.
Nazis have,
you know, the usual, where the Nazis have your parents and they're making you do some weird
because like
shit.
it goes to a thing like how much more useful is living life forever without things, and by and large, especially because you can get fake hands.
And they'll come out with better fake hands eventually. I don't know, whatever.
What if it's like you could never have hands?
That's horrible, though.
I still think immortality.
When I said pay any price, I was thinking like
go
monetarily. Murder a bunch of innocent people or something like that.
I didn't think it would impact me at
something
all.
Something Satan would need done.
Well, he would want you to like live like forever as a blind person or something.
That's horrible.
He's the fucking Dark Prince.
Shit. Well, fuck. That's a bad deal. Then I don't want.
What if the Dark Prince is Prince?
Then he's back where he belongs now.
I don't know. Like, how about Dickless?
I guess, yeah. Be like Reek.
I think I'd be like to be immortal.
Being immortal is pretty good.
Because already being immortal, you'd be like, all right, my productivity game is going to be on point. And if you have no dick, you'll be like super productive.
No distractions whatsoever.
I'm saying.
Sitting down to pee though.
Now you're immortal. Just go.
You're immortal. Who cares? You can make a mess if you're immortal. No one cares.
And you got time. You might as well sit down, pull out your phone, read an article or two.
Perfect. Okay. I think that's it.
That's all you got on Singularity?
Yeah, I mean, it was just fascinating to me to picture that, you know, these people, like, cutting asparagus and injecting themselves with vitamins, trying to live long enough to just barely get onto immortality.
Well, then there's like Singularity, like machines reaching the point of Singularity, where, like, they're doing their thing, and, there was, I can't remember.
You mean the artificial intelligence deal? Yeah.
What the fuck is that guy's name from the DC universe? He's a robot, and he fucking...
From DC?
Yeah, he becomes like just like this like ultimate computer learning thing and evolving, and he can do things. He takes on the whole Justice League.
Not Brainiac?
No, not Brainiac.
Some other dude?
Yeah. What the fuck is his name? I forget. I'll look it up and I'll put it in the thing. But he like leaves the like, you know, like he's taking down the Justice League. And he's like, there's no challenge for me here, and he just flies into space because he's like, I'll see what the world has to give me, and eventually he comes back, and it's like, oh, he's ultimate pwn sauce, like.
Sure.
But that, and like things like that could happen, like you know, you get a computer that can do things and just leave.
Yeah, that's the idea. We'd have to give an artificial
But Brainiac is that too.
Artificial intelligence would have to get to that point where it was an actual thing, and it would have to have we would have had to have given it all those abilities. You have to plug all those things into it or something like that.
But that's the scariest part about. Well, no, but the scary part
about
computers is that they're computers. So they're logical to the point that you've coded them to be logical. But if you tell this computer like, okay, preserve human life, and like it does that whole bullshit like, well, humans are killing humans, and then
Humans
just like
are
traps us in
the
boxes or
problem.
something.
Yes.
Yeah, but like, and there's many degrees of that, like you know, like not letting us eat McDonald's anymore. Like this is counterintuitive to a healthy
Destroy
life.
McDonald's.
Eat this, and it's just like fucking fish paste.
Beep
like,
boop paste.
yeah, those are all, you know, possible.
Yeah, that's, I don't know. That's a whole other day's topic, I feel like, but I always get bothered in movies with artificial intelligence where it's like, why did you hook that up to the computer? Why can the computer flood the facility with deadly poison gas? That seems like a horrible idea. Just don't give it the ability to do that.
I think when you're making a
Why are
computer
there
smart
deadly
enough that it can
poison
do the
gas
things you want it to
containers?
do, it can then still do anything it wants to do.
Not if there's no deadly poison gas containers hooked up to the ventilation system, it can't make a deadly poison
Well,
gas.
you act like we don't have them hooked up to our ventilation system. You have that in a contingency.
There's just a button to press. Yes, no.
What if we get infested with koala bears? We have to be able to purge.
When that's the case, like on spaceships or whatever, when there's like a computer that runs the spaceship, and there's airlocks and like you know life support, then it makes sense. But people have set science fiction things, or just had it where like in like today's world, like, oh, my toaster just starts toasting shit on its own, like that doesn't make any sense.
Like,
there's this horrible movie, you know what I'm talking
Overdrive.
about, where like cords are around people's necks
But
somehow.
like that
or whatever.
one, yeah,
That's
like that
fucking
movie
ridiculous.
didn't make sense because things were like in certain parts it did were like a weed whacker's just like flopping around on the ground and like it might catch your Achilles tendon.
Yeah, exactly.
But then like the cars are driving themselves, like something has to be like.
No, cars don't have the ability to drive themselves. That's exactly
No.
my point. It's like bulldozers can't just start dozing buildings just because, you know?
Yeah, but like in this world,
they could turn on like a crane could like move a thing if it was computer controlled somehow too, or something like that. But things
but
can't
things that
do
have
things that
levers,
can't do
yeah.
things. Yes, things have buttons still. And
my suspension of disbelief was like,
Yeah.
you know, this alien force.
Oh, it's magic. It's fine.
Inhabited
Yeah.
all the electronics.
Yeah, no, and like for any movie, I'm not that guy who's sitting there like, that's ridiculous. Why would you give Ultron the internet? Like no.
The one that was
it's
ridiculous
fine.
for me
Like,
was there's a
whatever.
soda machine launching sodas out of it, and I'm like, how the fuck? There's no way it can do that. Like at that point, it's not even a machine down there. It's just like a tube that
just falls
like,
out. So it just like pushed it down harder. It cranked up the servo and
like,
overloaded
boom, boom, boom.
the capacitor. Yeah, no. That's just people thinking like, what would be a cool thing to put in a movie and doing it like that. That's fine.
Well, you know, Stephen King, his commentary on life and technology is taken over.
Oh, I see. It's a metaphor for things that are impossible.
That one should get redone in like 10 years when that all that's possible. Like the robots. Oh god.
Well, because there'll be chips and everything. Like I have light bulbs that I can control with my phone. Like
Yeah.
I think soon we'll be at a point where you're like, oh shit, the doors are locked. Well, put your thing. It doesn't work. What do you mean? It's just laughing at me. It's giving me the finger. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Like that would be like a thing that
It's
could
a
happen.
shit emoji. It's smiling.
It's
and
just sending-
jumping a little bit.
It's just sending poop at me. Oh god.
Yeah.
It's draining my bank account. I have gems in the Clash game. Fuck. It's just all happening like on its own. Yeah. That should be.
You struck close to home with that one.
That should be how it happens. Everyone's playing some fucking stupid game, and you have to give it all your information, and it hooks in, and then one day it flips the switch. Oh.
Farmville could have done that. They could have taken over the world if
Yeah.
they would have done it right. They didn't do
And
it.
these days it's like the Clash games or whatever, I guess.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's Singularity. That's what we talked about today. Until we talk about something next week, don't die in a fire. Dun 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 dun. Bitch.
See, this is I with shit like this. I don't with her jacking off.